that? That's Kim? That's Kim. And they said Kim. I was like, no. But
So
I'll
you
be
liked it?
honest with
Okay.
you. It was a great song.
Do you remember what song it was?
He doesn't have too many of them, so I'm sure you could list them, and I may
No.
be like, yeah, I'll find it when I need it. It wasn't good enough for me
Okay.
to ask who sing, like, what's the name of it.
Okay. But it was good. Okay.
It was very
That's
good.
cool.
Like, yo,
All
who
right.
is
That's
that?
cool.
Oh, that's Kim. All right. Yo, what we going to eat tonight?
All right. All right. So, all right. So one of the things that I talked about, I don't think on the last show, but on the last episode before, how I was keeping a daily to-do list, and I said, well, this is something I was going to try, and actually I picked this up from you because you said that you keep an actual physical planner where you write stuff down. So one of the things, that I have is actually I have a planner, right?
Ooh,
So
he's
this is
flossing. He's flossing.
so,
That's how
so
you
this is
floss,
from
right?
this is from the 23rd. I think that was what, Monday or Tuesday, one of the two. This is from the 23rd. And you see, I got my to-do list, right? So I got stretching, meditation, read 15 pages, 36 push-ups, read articles, work on PDFs. So I write the stuff down. It's actually very, very beneficial. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, shit, I have all these objectives that I have to meet before the day is up. And, you have a little bit more experience than I do. So I don't know what's been your experience and how beneficial it's been for you to
A
keep your
calendar?
daily to-do list. Yeah, your calendar, daily to-do list,
Oh man,
whatever,
it's
whatever.
the most
Whatever.
profitable. You heard of Bitcoin before, right? Yo, get
Yeah.
out of your mother freaking no,
No,
your
that was on the side. That was on
you
the
on
side, man. It was on the
TV.
side. That was on the side. Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
Okay, I don't even remember what the.
You said something about you was about to go into the calendar and remember Bitcoin and stuff.
Oh yeah, if you know about Bitcoin, if you think that's valuable, like your calendar is 100 times more valuable than what cryptocurrency will ever be at its heightest. Like
Mm.
a calendar, it's your most profitable tool. That's why most people don't keep one.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure anybody goes to their circle of influence and they ask them like, "Yo, let me see your calendar." They'll either talk
Yeah.
about the one on the fridge or the one on the wall, the one, and then when you see it, it'll be blank, right? Like, oh, you just got this? Nah, I've had this for like 6 months. Why nothing in it?
Yeah, you need to write some shit in there.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yeah.
a very valuable tool. It's something that we should all keep, right? And it's something that gives us, like, it's something about, I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, it's something about putting a check on something that gets done, like the physical process of checking something off, like, boom, I got it. He
Yeah.
said, and it's true. We talked about it on Inner Success Radio podcast with this guy. There's a million things. He calls it the little winnings, right? I like to
Yeah.
call it my little winnings too, but you put that check like, yo, I just did that. Boom. Like, I feel good. We finished recording this podcast. I feel good. Like, we just finished doing our chop it up session for the book, right? I was like, boop.
Yeah.
Then after this is done, boop. That does something to you psychologically, and that has nothing to do with money. I was talking about it's very valuable as far as monetary, but the non-monetary gains that you get from a calendar is priceless.
It's amazing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it definitely builds. You're right. I think there is science behind it to where, if when you make that check mark, like you get a rush of dopamine, saying, "Oh, damn, I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I just complete." Like you just said, we just finished the recording for the book, and we're like, "Damn, that feels good, right?" We just did that. Now we just jump right from the book recording to the podcast. When the podcast recording is episode, bam, click that right off.
Is this not the American dream? What we've just been doing the past like 3 hours?
Yeah.
Imagine if someone in their crazy mind decided to pay us, let's be on a safe side. Let's say $5,000 a week for 3 hours. It's not the greatest, right? I was recording before he got sick. getting $220,000 an hour in other countries. Here he gets $50,000 an hour. So let's just say somebody gave us $5,000 for 3 hours of our work today. Is that not the American dream?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, doing something we love to do, right? This is not even it's not even work to me.
Something we're willing to do without getting paid.
Yeah.
That's we just lived the American dream today.
Yeah. Yes, sir, man. So,
are you ready for $5,000 a month?
I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay, nice.
I've been ready, man. I've been ready. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't.
Hey.
All of our podcast listeners won't see the video right away. You go to YouTube, do a search for the Weekly Journal, and or the Black Podcasters Network, and you'll see this video on there.
They also need to listen to that last podcast too. That last podcast was actually very good. I was listening to it in the shower today.
Yeah, that shit was fire.
Yeah, it was.
That shit was fire. But yeah, so just
Brother X, Brother Shabazz, Charles Shabazz. Charles Shabazz. Remember you said he was changing his name.
You know, somebody. I shit you not. I'm putting my hand to the man. Somebody at work. I was talking with one of my coworkers, and I was telling her I just finished reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, and I was telling her about the documentary and how Elijah Muhammad. I was giving her like a rundown of pretty much what we talked about on the podcast, and she said, "You know what? You're gonna be Charles X." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
No. That's disrespectful to Malcolm X to call me Charles X. I think that's disrespectful to Malcolm X.
No.
Yeah. He was willing to die.
You're such a piece of crap, You're
dang. That's terrible.
You're such a liar. You said that on the last show. I didn't say anything. You make it seem like you're not. Your impact isn't the same. Your impact is exactly the same. I don't see how you don't see it. You got the Black Podcasters Network. What more do you want? You're creating content. What more do you want? What more could you? There's progress. How long have you had it? How long have you been really doing this seriously?
That's true.
Remember Martin Luther King, he was forced to do what he was doing.
That's true.
Forced.
That's true.
Like, what more do you want? Like, okay, let's say you're a year in of having it all, the vision all put together for what you essentially want for the Black Podcasters Network. Let's just assume. Yeah. Okay, give me a year of Malcolm Little. You're still Malcolm Little. Are you not? Like, metaphorically, you're still Malcolm Little. Yeah. This year, next year, the year after that, you're still Malcolm Little.
Yeah, because he was locked up for about 6 or 7 years, I think.
He was bad for how long? How long was he up?
Yeah, he was bad. He was bad. He started like 12 years old, all the way up until his like mid-20s.
So when you say that you're not, when you're so far, but I think you're closer to that than you know yourself.
Yeah.
And you should be. If I were you, I at least had to say something. However you decide to talk to yourself is how you do it. But you're doing. I can't think of you being able to do more. Yeah. I mean, you probably can. You could probably do more, create more, but they weren't a lot of people weren't creating anything their first year or two. I think you're doing you're more of an influencer than you feel.
I appreciate that, bro. And sometimes, and it's funny, and I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, and it's funny because sometimes I try to get the same thing you're telling me. I try to get other people to see the same thing. Like somebody will say, "Oh no, it wasn't that bad," or "That was terrible." Like, no, that was actually pretty fucking good, right? Yeah. And there's a quote that Les Brown says. I think he says, "You can't see the picture when you're in the frame." Now, sometimes people may see that as a negative comment, but it's not. What it's saying is that, hey, you're in this box, so I can't see what you see, right? I can't see what my girlfriend sees. I can't see what my kids see.
You can feel it though. You can feel it. You feel
Yeah.
your presence. You feel your impact. I know you do. You feel it.
Yeah. And okay. I appreciate that, bro. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
You know,
that's facts.
You just inspired me. You just inspired, and I'm pretty sure, and some of our listeners, you inspired too. So that way, you know, they know, hey, you know, we need to give ourselves sometimes more credit than we actually give ourselves.
Like,
sometimes we can be too critical.
What do you think is the most? Have you ever thought about like what is the most important thing to actually becoming success? Like, there's so many different strategies and methods and journeys to getting there, but have you ever really thought about like what's the one thing, like if you do this one thing, you will reach success? Just one. I know that couldn't be a book. You can't make a book just one thing. People will hate it. That's more like an article.
Yeah.
But you could really just go on this one thing for like 200 pages. This one thing. What would that one thing be to you?
That's a good question. Actually, you know what? One thing I would say, man, that's tough. It's a tough question. I'm gonna answer it a different way. I'm gonna show. So for all our podcast listeners, again, you guys won't see what I'm about to show, but if you see, that's on my whiteboard. Like, that's what I have on my whiteboard. Stay focused. Stay focused on your goals. So focus, right? Making sure that I'm staying focused. If I had to say one thing, focus.
Okay.
Because I think focus is really important.
But how important is it? Like, it's obviously that important. You put it on the whiteboard, which I got to see. For those of you who didn't watch this, you're just listening to it. But how important, like, to what extent are you talking about focus? Like, as the one thing, because it can't just be the shallow, like, just focus on it, right? That's your one thing you're using. Like, if they said the genies, the gods above said, you do this one thing, focus. Like, to what extent are we talking about focus? Because remember the disciples. God told them to focus on praying while he was gone, right? When he got back, they were sleeping. They couldn't focus. Right? But to what extent are you talking about this focus?
I think when they're talking about focus and we're trying to say, okay, well, and we're looking at defining success, focus allows us to give energy to that one thing, right? There's actually a book called The One Thing. I don't know if I told you about it, but that book, hands down, one of the best books. No, that was the best book I read in 2016 was The One Thing. I gave it away. I need to actually get it again, but that was the best book I read in 2016. But when you focus in on a particular thing, then you're now giving that one thing energy, right? All your energy is going. Remember on the Inner Success Radio podcast, we talked to that lady, and after the recording, she said, "Hey, Demetrius or Billionaire Brown, your energy is scattered everywhere, right? You got this going on, you got this going on, you got this going on." And she said, "Hey, if you just kind of narrow your focus, your energy into like one or two things, you will see different results." So when we're talking about focus, once we're focused in on that one thing, we now are not only physical energy. I'm talking about, this is like actual the energy of the thing where we're empowering that particular project or task or whatever. So that's why I would say focus is probably the.
Okay, so my thing, I would say not giving up.
Yeah.
That's what I would, if there was one thing, commonality that I'll see from all, and to be successful at anything, is to not give up. That's the one thing. And the reason why I would say that is because I just finished reading that book, Destiny, by Bishop Jakes. And he talks about the different, what did he say? So he gave this one example where he actually sat down with Coretta Scott King, right? And I actually talked about it on my Facebook. And he was talking about how she told him that she felt that her destiny, her only purpose in life was to support and to be